Whew. Finally getting back onto my Iron 83 after the crash. Now, fortunately, it was a minor one where I had a small injury on my hand thanks to my protection of my gloves and a bit of impact on my hip. And again, thanks to my gear, it saved my skin from being grinded on the road.
Flashback.
Wow. There is fucking oil here.
End of flashback.
But the whole purpose of this was to capture my experience as a new rider who just had his first crash and to showcase what it feels like to be back on the road and what kind of feelings I'm going through in my head as I get back onto the two wheels. So let's start off the engine. And what we'll do is we'll just go for a nice little ride for me to build up my confidence, because confidence plays a very important part for you to become a safe rider on the road. And let me tell you, getting back on the two wheels felt like I was riding for the first time once again. And there was like all these butterflies in my stomach that I used to have right after finishing my MSF course, and I was afraid of being on the road where I was hyper vigilant on everything and overreacting to things. And I've kind of have that feeling right now where any little dark spots on the road, I'm just kind of tensed up, and that's not the best thing to have as a rider. You want to be somewhat relaxed but vigilant enough for you to react quickly as needed. Now, I wanted to say thank you to all my commenters, my viewers, and people who reached out on my direct message to give me a little bit more motivation and encouragement on going through all this as a new rider who's just recently gone through a motorcycle accident. And it's been extremely helpful, especially in the mental side, because I have been battling a lot of decisions in my head, and I know that this was relatively a small motorcycle accident with very minor injuries compared to some of the stories and experiences that was laid out on my channel who experienced an accident with broken limbs, broken arms, and like issues with their spinal cords, surgeries. Like, geez, there's some gruesome stories out there. But then after quickly recovering from their injuries, they got back on the road and enjoying that wind therapy. And it was very motivational for me to read all that. And I want to say thank you for those people who took the time to tell me their story and their experience. And it just reminded me how amazing this motorcycle community is, because I would say out of all the commenters, about 98% of you were very supportive and understanding of some of the thoughts I was going through. Yeah, I was a little dramatic, but for someone who is a new rider in his late 30s, who has a relatively young family that everyone depends on, it was a pretty rude wake-up call for me, because it happened so suddenly in an area that I wasn't fully expecting. And cars like this kind of piss me off though. The fuck, guys, come on. I guess that hasn't changed. Anyways, where was I? Right, I just wanted to say thank you for those who came out to support what I was going through in my head and just letting me know that you guys got my back. Now, for those other 2%ers out there who were just straight up assholes, okay, whatever. I mean, if you are here to belittle people who's just sharing their thoughts and feelings, I guess, really, you're not welcome on the channel anyways, so hopefully you guys don't come back. Don't really give a shit. But I was just surprised how many supporters were out there from the riding community that has a ton of experience. Like, there's a lot of riders out there that were above 60 years old who were just giving me a lot of pointers on how to ride safer, or just confirmation that the events that happened on that day was a bit out of my control and that it's okay to have a small crash like that. So thank you all for allowing me to just going through this and vent it out, because as a rider who comes from a family with no riders, in fact, they're very against me riding because to them it's the most dangerous thing in the world. So when they saw and heard that I got into a crash, it was devastating for them, probably more so than the person who actually crashed, which was me. So it's really hard for me to find somebody to talk to, and the fact that my viewers came out to support me, it was a very humbling moment, so thank you for that. And I'm back on the road, baby, so stay tuned for more motovlogs. As always, ride safe, ride prepared, ride on. Peace.